So in section 1.2, we want to work with applying the order of operations. So we want to make sure that we understand the order of operations. And many people already know this as PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And here's basically what you're looking at doing. Evaluating expressions inside grouping symbols. Parentheses. Now that could be other things as well. There are other things that could be looked at as grouping symbols, but for now we're going to focus on parentheses. Evaluate powers. That's the exponent portion. Exponents would also include things like square roots and logarithms, which you probably aren't working with so much yet, but we will get to as you go forward. Multiply and divide. Now remember, division is defined as multiplying by an inverse. So multiplication and division are essentially the same operation. That's why they're both in the same order, at the same level of order of operations. But remember, when we do them, we're going to do them all in order from left to right. And then addition and subtraction, that's the A and the S. Subtraction is also defined as adding an opposite, so subtraction is inherently tied to addition, and we're also going to go from left to right. So putting that into practice, if I take a look at this particular expression, first I'd look for parentheses, there aren't any. Then I want to evaluate any powers, so exponents. So I'm going to take care of this first. So 2 to the third power is 8. Next I would do the multiplication. 5 times 8 is 40. And then I would add the 7, and I get 47. Equally over here, I have no parentheses. I have no exponents. Then I would do the multiplication. 3 times 6 is 18. And then I would do my subtraction. 18 minus 4 is 14. Okay, so as long as we follow the order of operations accurately, we should be able to work through any type of problem. When we have grouping symbols like parentheses or brackets, that's all going to fall in that first area, so they have to be done first. Now, if I look at this particular expression, you see I want to do what's in the parentheses first, but within the parentheses, I have to follow order of operations as well. So I have a power and I have addition. I have to do the power part of that first. So before I can simplify within the order of operations, I also have to follow order of operations. 24 divided by, now I would do what was in the parentheses first. 8 plus 16 is 24. Now I can do the division. 24 divided by 24 is 1. Okay, if we're looking over here, 3 plus 1 in the parentheses, that doesn't require anything in terms of order of operations. So I'm just doing what's in the parentheses first. Now I'll do multiplication, 4 times 4. I got 24 plus 16, and 24 plus 16 is 40. Okay, some more examples like that, evaluating an expression. So now I'm going to do some of the things we did in the last section in terms of substituting a value into an expression. And then I'm going to follow order of operations. So first I substitute. Now I don't have parentheses, but I do want to do the power, the exponent first. So this is going to be 6 times 4 minus 13. 6 times 4 is 24. Minus 13 is 11. Equally, when I substitute 3 in for b, I'll have 3 cubed minus 21 divided by 5 times 3 plus 9. So the first thing I'm going to do in the numerator is the exponent. 3 to the third power is 27. And in the denominator, the first thing I'll do is the multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. And when we move down here, 27 minus 21 is 6. 15 plus 9 is 24. And then the last thing I would do would be to simplify. And 6 goes into 24 4 times, so 6 divided by 24 simplifies to be 1/4. Okay, applying this to a word problem. If you know how tall you were at age 2, you can estimate your adult height in inches. Girls can use the expression 25 plus 1.17h, where h is the height, in inches at the age of 2, and boys can use this other expression, 22.7 plus 1.37 times 8, to estimate the adult height of each person to the nearest inch. So we want a girl, so we're going to use the girl's formula, 25 plus 1.17h, when she was 34 inches at age 2. That's 25 plus 1.17 times the height, 34. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out a calculator to do this one. So I'll have 25 times 1.17 is equal to 29.25. So I'll have 25 plus 29.25. And when I add those together, I'll get 54.25 inches. Okay, again, to the nearest inch. If they had wanted me to put this in feet and inches, then I would have wanted to factor out all the multiples of 12 we had in 54, and then she'd be 4'6" and a quarter inches. Okay, but we're not doing that. They want the answer in inches. Now we want a boy, so I'm going to use the other formula, 22.7 plus 1.37 times the height, 33 inches. So he was an inch shorter than the girl at age 2. But let's find out what we get with this. So I'll have 1.37 times 33, 45.21 plus 22.7, 67.91. So now that's interesting, 67.91. Oh, and nearest inch, so this one would have just been 54 inches. 54 inches. And 67.91, that's going to be 68 inches to the nearest inch. So I should not have left this as a decimal. I should have rounded it down. 68 inches. So you see, even though the boy was an inch shorter at age 2, his expected adult height is 14 inches taller as an adult. Okay, that's it for section 1.2, and we'll work on more of these things in class.